Hey techies, welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be seeing about arrays, and arrays are one of the most important things we will be covering, and it is very important to solve problems. And today we will be going deep on arrays. And if you miss this, everything after this, like array list, hash maps and algorithms, will become very painful. So make sure to watch this full video and don't skip. If you are new to this video, make sure to check out our playlist of Java, and after that continue along with all videos so you won't get any confusions. So we will be diving into the concept. Okay, first, for example, we will take a real world example of an egg container or an egg carton. You know that egg carton, right? That will store eggs. For example, we'll see here that it will be like that. After that, it will have some holes, and it will store the eggs. Okay. Here all the slots are same size and same shape, and it holds eggs in a certain order. So it is simple an array. That means it is in the same size and same shape. That means all the values are in the same data types. Okay, and it will store all the values in a certain order. In technical definition, we can say that an array is a contiguous block of memory that stores multiple values of the same data type under a single name. That means we can name it as marks, ages, like that. For example, why we need array? For example, here if you want to store marks of 100 students, that means if you use variables, you will use score 1 equals 85 and integer score 2 equals 95 and integer 3 score 3 equals 85 and again integer score 4 equals 76 up to integer score 100 equals 54, like that. So you need 100 variables to store this line, and you have to write 100 lines for that. Instead of that, you can simply made it using 3 or 4 lines using the array. For example, int square brackets and the variable name scores equals 85, 95, 100, 130, 160, like that I can store. Okay, I can store like this. In a single line, I can store all the variables using int square brackets and variable name. After that, the values. Now we will see the advantages of this and main properties of an array. First property is it is fixed size. You can't change the size. If these have 5 values, you can only store 5 values. You can't store more than 5 values. And it must contain all values in the same data type. For example, if I store 95, 95.5, 95 and 95.5, it will throw an error. Okay, we can only store same data type. So now let me check. Before that, I have created a new file, arrays.java. After that, I'll create main function and I'll declare one array. So int, after int, I'm naming it as scores. So I can store the scores of the student. and like this I can store the values. So this array is fully based on index access. For example, if I want to print or I want to access the value inside the array, I have to use indexes. That means array name after square bracket, and the indexes is 0 based indexing. That means the first element is at the index 0, not 1. Okay, it starts from 0 instead of 1. If I print it, see, you will get the output of 23 here. That means the first value. If I want the fourth element, that means if I want this 23, I can't give 4, I have to give 3. So that's when we will get the 23 again. If I give 4 here, it will move on to the next value and it will print 43. Okay, see here. So it's a index based and it is fixed size. Okay, so now we will see the basic internal structure of an array. So now let's move down there. After that, an array will look like a box like this. After that, it will contain these many lines. So for example, 1 2 3 4 5 6. The index will start from 0 1 2 3 4 5. If I want to access the first value, I will simply say index of 0. If I want to access the last value, I can simply say the length minus 1. Okay, 6 minus 1 means 5. 5 is the last index. If I want 4, that means the last, so the second value from the last, that means length minus 2. Is that clear? So let us check. There is one more inbuilt method that helps us to get the length of an array. That is, I am storing it as in a variable called n. After that, array name dot length. Now the length of this array will be stored inside this variable. So if I try to print n minus 1, I will get the last value in the array. See here, we got 6543, the last element. If I print n minus 2, that means I will get the element from the second element from the last. But if I try to print n, it will throw an error called index out of bound error. Okay, because see here, I have give n, that means index of, let me take this array, and index of 6 means it will go here. There is no value in here. So that means it will throw error. There is no space or no values there. And one more thing is there are mainly 3 ways that is used to declare a variable. Okay, we'll see the syntax for that. So first go down here, I'll explain here. The first way, int square brackets, after that array name, for example I am taking it as scores, and new int with array size. This is array size. This is again the data type with this same data type on the both sides, and the size of array, this is name, and this new keyword is used to create an empty space that can be stored the values. So now we will be seeing the way to. Before that, we will see one more thing. Int scores equals new int 5 here, right? This is the array size of 5, but I can't add 6 because, as I said before, this array is a fixed size. And one more thing is here, if I try to print int, that means scores of 0, that means the first index, it will return 0 as an output. Why? Because if you declare a variable, it will pre-defaultly initialize the value as 0 for int and 0 for int and long, and 0.0 for double and float, and false for boolean. Okay. And if we use objects, that means it will point to null. We will see what is objects in the OOPS concepts. So make sure to wait until then, so you won't get confused. So after that we will be seeing the way to, how to declare another type. The way to is simply initializing the value directly. That means we have given in the first time, that means int square brackets, I am taking it as ages, equals 18, 28, 34, like this. I will directly initialize the value instead of new int and the size. Now the size is 3 and the array of 0 is 18 and the array of n minus 1 is 34. N is nothing but the length. Okay, most of the time we will be using n, so make sure to follow along with it. So now we will compile it and test it in the VS Code. Before that, there is a third way, that is, same as first way, but a single difference is there. New int 5. This is the way 1, and in way 3, int before this square brackets you will give the name. After that, new int 5. You may ask, what is the error here? It's literally same, but we are just swapping the variable name and the square brackets after and before. The thing is, in Java convention, we don't have to use variable names before the square brackets, because this is same related to the C and C++ array declaration, and for Java we will be using int square brackets variable name and new int. And one more thing is here, if you want to declare multiple arrays, you can simply scores 2, ages, like that you can declare, but you can't declare int scores or scores ages. After that, if you give this, it will throw an error. Okay, that's why Java mainly uses this type of convention to declare an array. Now we will see some problems, the basic operation that we will be using in the array. For that, as I said before, if you want to access first index, you will be using this. For using system.out.println, it will print the first value. If I want to change the first value, we can simply array of 0 equals 23, the value will be changed. If array of n minus 1 equals 43, the last element will be changed. If we want to find the length, that means you can simply print arrays name dot length. Okay, now we will check. For that, we will move on to the Visual Studio Code. In here, before this, one more thing is here, that I can't use public class arrays here. You can ask why. Because there is a package or a class that is already given by the Sun Microsystems, that is who created Java. Okay, import java dot util dot arrays. See, now it will throw errors. So that's why we have to change the file name. So I am changing this name. I am renaming it to arrays problems. So now I can change. Okay, I have changed the value. Now we have imported the arrays class. Okay, there is pre-default methods are there, so that we can use it here. So don't use the same class name that is pre-defaultly given, so it will throw some errors. So we can't do anything about that. So we have to change the name according to it. So for that, these are called, the methods that we'll be using is called built-in methods. That's the Sun Microsystems or Oracle who developed the Java created it. Okay, now we will see some programs. This is an array. Okay, after that, if I want to get the first index value, I just printed arrays of 0. Correct? If I run it, I got the value 23. Then I want to change it to 0. So for that, I am making changes, that is scores of 0, that is the first index, equals 1. Now if I run it, I got the first index value as 1. What I am printing it, that means it is completely changed. Okay, and one more thing is there, as I have said before, there are 3 ways, but the first way is the industry standard. That means it is mainly required by the industries, and most of them will be looking for that method only. You are not supposed to give this method, that is directly giving values. It is used when you know exactly all the inputs. Okay, for that we will be using scanner class to get input. First we will see how to get the scanner class. We have to import it. Import java dot util dot star. If you use star, you don't need to import the Java class. All the classes within that will be imported. So then I'll remove it. I'll create a scanner class. Within this we have to give system.in. So for that I'm giving it. We have created a scanner object. After that we have to declare array int square brackets. I'm naming it as ARR for short form for array, equals new int, and I'm getting it as n. I'll get the n from the user. So I'm printing enter the size of the array. Okay, now I am getting the size. So I have to store it. Int n equals s1 dot next int. Now I got the size from the user and the size is the array size. Okay, then for int I equals, the array starts from 0 and array ends at n minus 1, that means I less than n and I plus plus. After that, simply array of I equals s1 dot next int. We got input and n times we will be storing in the array. Okay, now let me check. It says enter the size of the array. I am saying 5. I am giving the values 12, 12, 43, 54, 34, 12, 23 enter, 32 enter, 54 enter, 43 enter and 54. It's done. So we got the input and stored in the array. So now let we have to check it's working or not. So we have to print it. For accessing it, again we have to use the index values. As I said before, the index starts from 0 and after that I less than n and I plus plus. That means here the value is 5. That means 0 to 4, 5 times will run. 0, 1, 0 is the first time and 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 times it will run. So I am using n here. After that, just simply we have to print array of I. Okay. Now I am printing the elements. First the size is 5 and I am giving the elements with 12, 12, 12, 12 and 32. It's the same values. So now again we will check. The size is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to print it in the same line, just remove the next line. After that, give plus and empty string, that means space. So after it, you giving it, it will be working perfectly. See here 23, 54, 30, 56, 34, 2, 3, 5. There are array size is 6. So after this reading this much inputs, it will close the input and it will print these inputs. Okay, this is how we get input from the user. Declare an array, get the size from the user. After that, just simply get the input and store it in an array, and this is how we will be printing. One more interesting thing is there, that is for each loop. The for each loop is, first I will show the syntax. For, okay, after that the data type, a variable name that you want to store the coming inputs. For example, I am taking it as num, and as colon. After that colon, what we have to do is the array name. The array name is ARR, and you just have to print this value. Okay, it is more simple than the normal method. So let me check. I am creating for integer data type and a variable name that I want and a colon, after that the array name. Okay, I just comment it. So let us check the output. So I am just printing the value. Before that, I want to print it in the same line, so I am giving an empty string here. So after that I am printing the size is 3, 2, 4, 5. It's printed 2, 4, 5. Okay, it is same as the loop, but we will be using this to get the elements from an array. So it's simple than the normal method we are using the indexes. If you want to access the indexes, you can simply use this method. If you don't want to access the methods and directly print it, you can use for each loop. And one more thing, that in the previous time we have stored in a single line of array, that is int. For example, arr2 equals, if I store some values like this, full comma 34 comma 48 comma 89 comma 9. Okay, this is called compile time arrays. This size is auto calculated from the values. We didn't give any size like this initialization, this declaration of array. Okay, now these runtime arrays, these are called compile time arrays and these are called runtime arrays. These runtime arrays have size fixed at the creation of the values, and we can assign the values later. Okay, and for string arrays, if you use string arrays, it is initialized to the null. It not even give not an empty string. Okay, and it will throw a null pointer exception error. So always initialize the object arrays like string array. If you doesn't give any values to the non-primitive data type arrays, then it will be always point to the null, not an empty string. And the most of the beginners do a mistake is that if you try to access the size of an array, that means instead of n-1, if you try to print the array of length, it will be always invalid because the valid indices are 0 to length minus 1. So this caused the 70% of array bugs. So we will be debug this later when we will be getting into more problems and solving that. So then you will be master to debug. Okay, in this array property we are using dot length, right? For example, int l equals arr2 dot length. I'll just comment all of them other than this. Okay, now see here, I have created an array and I got the size and I'll print the size. Sysout L. If I print it, I will get the size. For example, it is showing 5. There are 5 number of elements here. I'll add some more numbers. So again I am running it. It is showing 7. Okay. After this is used to check the length of the array. If we want to check the length of a string, for example, string str equals hello. Okay, now for example, I declare a variable int n equals str dot length. I can't use dot length. Instead, I can use parenthesis with it. Okay, if I use parenthesis with it, I can access the length of the string. If I use n here, I'll get the size of the string. Same 5 here, so I'll add some more values here. So I'll get the size again. The size is 16 now. If we want to get the size of an array, you will use just dot length. If you want to get the size of a string, you will use dot length with parenthesis. Okay. As we have seen about the first problem, that is we have the creation of array, and after that we have iterate through the for loop and get the output from the user. So I'll give one more problem to you guys, that is create an array of 5 student scores, then print each of the scores with its position. For example, fits in the first position, that means 0th index first, and the student name with it, that means student score it with it. After that the second one, then the student score with it. Now we have seen about the forward iteration, that means we have started from the forward index and end at the last index. Now let us see the reverse iteration. The reverse iteration is nothing but we will start from the last index and print up to the first index. Okay, now let us see. For within that I have to start from int I equals array 2 dot length minus 1. After that I greater than or equal 0, because it stops at the 0th index and we have to reduce the index. After that same as just print array 2 of I. So again now we will check, we got the values in the reverse order: 9, 89, 8, 3, 4, 12, 12, 12. Okay, 9, 8, 9, 8 and 3, 4, 12, 32 and 12. Okay, we can also do custom step size like I plus equals 3 and I plus equals 2 to step on to the index value elements. So now we will see some problems regarding arrays. For that, first I will create another file. In this program we have to find the maximum number in the array. So I am naming this file as max number .java. So class is created. After that, public static void main. In this, create an array. Array equals, I give some values, for example 12, 34, 56, 75, 90, 32, 2 and 100. In this, 100 is the maximum number, that is the largest number in this array. So we have to find the largest number in the array. For that, what I can say, I have to initialize a variable. For example, I am initializing it. For that, I have to declare a variable. I declare it as max equals, I am going to initialize with the first value in the array. Okay. Now this is the value that is stored in the max. If any number is greater than this first number, I have to store it as a maximum number. So it will check for the every loops, and finally if any number that is greater than this number, it will become max. For that, for the simple usage, I am using for each loop. As I said before, int number in the array. After that, if number is greater than the current max value, then the current max value will become number. Have to close this here. Okay, if the current number is greater than the maximum number is the current number. After that, I just have to print the max number in the arrays and the plus on the number max. Okay, now if I try to print it, let's wait a bit, then it will show yes, the maximum number in the array is 100. So let me change this value to 5678. Let again check. Here it's same as the 5678. Okay, it's simple as that. We just declare a variable with the starting value. After that, we will be checking with every number, and if the number is greater than the current maximum number, we are changing the number into the maximum number. So same as that, we will write a program for minimum number. min_number.java. After that, I create a main class. Then I declare array int array int array equals some values. Okay, then we have checked it. After that, what we have to do? We have to declare a variable. I am declaring it min equals, again initialize with the first value in the array. So after that, for I am using for each loop, so int number in the array if the current number is less than the minimum number, then I can say this minimum number can store the current number. After that, I will simply print it. The minimum number in the array is okay. Now again I am running it. I got the minimum number in the array is 1. So we have to know how it's internally working. So for that, I'll justly print here. Every time it changes, we can check with it. Okay, now I'm just printing min. Before that, I remove this next line and give it some space, so it will be coming in a single line. After that, I'm just running it. See here, the first smallest number is 12. After that 12, it still remains 12 until it meets 5. It is the smallest number. After it reaches 5, the 5 is the smallest number. When it reaches 1, 1 is the smallest number. So we can give an array in the reverse order. For that, I am removing this values. After that, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now if we check, we have to get the same array in the same order. Okay, now see 10 and it compare with 9, it's lesser, so 9 will be stored, then 8 will be stored, 7 will be stored, and 6 will be stored, and 5 will be stored, and 4 will be stored. Then it goes up to 1. When the 1 reaches it is the minimum number, so that's why the 1 is printed as the minimum number in the current array. So we will move on to the searching. Okay, we will look on to searching of a specific number in an array. So that is called a linear search. So first we will say what is linear search in the whiteboard. Okay, there are two searching operations we will be seeing, that is binary search and linear search. Binary search and linear search. Linear search is nothing but, for example, I take an array as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to check for 8. Okay. Now I will check one by one. It is equal to 8. No. Then I will go after the second number. It is also not equal to 8. So next I will jump. After that I will go after 3. Then I will reach 4. After it is not 8, then I will search up to the end of an array. So I have found the 8 in the 7th index. Okay. This is the linear search. After that we will see binary search. First we will be coding linear search only. After we going on to the DSA, we will see what is binary search. We will just see the simple program. For that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So first what I have to do, I will see the middle element. That means 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I do 7 by 2, I will get 3. So that means I have to go to the third index. I am doing integer division, so I got 3. So this is the middle element. So if I check, middle is equal to the target, that means 8. So I will check 4 equals 8. No. So that means I have to check if 4 is greater than 8. Okay. If 4 is greater than 8, I have to see this side. It's false, so obviously I have to go to the right side. If 4 is less than 8, that means middle is less than target, we have to check in the right side. So after that I will leave up to these digits. I will simply skip these numbers. After that we have 5, 6 and 7, 8. Now we have to again check. So for that it will be the middle number. So I will check 6 is equals 8. No. After 6 less than 8, yes. So I will go to the right side of this number. In this I will check this is the middle number. After that 7 equals 8. No. After that I will check 7 less than 8. Yes. I will go to the right side of the number. So I got this one. So finally I found 8. Now instead of 8, we will check on to another number 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. In this number, okay, in this number we will check the middle number, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means we have to check from the 4th index. Means 8 by 2 will return 4. So we have to check by the 4th index. Now if I check here, 5 equals 5. It is, we have found it in a single operation. But if we go on to linear, we will check one by one. So that's why binary search is convenient and less time taken. Okay. For that we will be using binary search. But before seeing binary search, we will be moving on to the linear search. We will code on the linear search. Okay. For that we will move on to the Visual Studio Code, and I create a class linear search .java. Public static void main. After that I create an array. Int array equals some number, for example like this. This is an array. So after declaring array, I just declare the target. My target is 54. Okay. Then I'll search in the loop for int I equals 0, I less than n and I plus plus. The n means nothing but the length. So I'll first calculate the length by the length built-in method. Okay, for that a dot length. Using this built-in function, I have found the length. So after that, I equals 0, I less than n. If array of I equals target, that means I have found. Alright. So I don't know that I have found it or not. For that, I'll using a boolean. Boolean found equals false, because I didn't found it yet, so I make it as false. Okay, I have set it as true, so simply found equals true, and I have to check the index. So I make it as index equals, I initially give -1, that means there is no index. And in which element it is stored, in which index it is stored, idx equals I. Okay, we have found the index and we have changed the boolean values equals true, so we have found, so there is no need to check anymore, so we can simply break the loop. Okay, then I can simply say if found, that means I can print element found in the index of index, that means idx. After that, if it's not found, element not present in the array. Okay, now I'll check. It says element found in the index 2, 0, 1, 2. So now we will check for some invalid number that is not present in the array. So it will say element not present in the number. Okay, it is that simple as that. We don't even need this. Instead of that, we can simply remove this. After that, in this I can simply check if idx, that means my index, not equals -1. That means I have found something. If not, it will still remain as -1. Okay, if I check element is not present in the array, because we have given the target something not present in this, so I am giving just 8, so we will get some input, we will get some output. It has found an index of 8, so it's present here after the 6. So if I check for 6, it should return 7, so we will run it again. So we have get the output as 7. So our code is successfully working. This is how basically the linear search works. We will check every number one by one from the starting to ending. Okay, now we will see sum of the array elements. Okay, now I create another file. So sum of elements dot java. Have created a class public static void main. After that, I create an array. Within this array, I'll give some values. Okay, now I declare a variable. For example, int total equals 0. Okay, after that for each loop, in this I declare a variable named as num. After that num total plus equals num. That means total equals total plus num. So after that I just have to print it. So total. Okay, now if I run it, I will get the sum of elements in the array. I got 53. Okay, we got the sum of all the numbers in an array. So there are some special problems also there. There are a lot of problems that will be coming onwards from the arrays only. If you want to try and solve problems, go check out LeetCode and Code Forces, and make sure to go to LeetCode, so it will be beginner friendly. After you solve few problems, you can move on to Code Forces, because in Code Forces it will be some scenario based. So if you basically understand normal problems, so after that you will be get easy. So make sure to check out those and solve problems. And if you are familiar with HackerRank also, you can solve problems. Now after that we will be seeing the average of a number, the average value of an array. That means we will add all the numbers and we have to divide it with the length. For that I will create another file and naming it as average.java. A class is created. Next we have to create main method. After creating the main method, I will create an array, some numbers like 85, 92, 78, 65, 70, 78 and 90. With this I have to find the length using dot length function, array dot length. Okay, we have found the length. So then we got the array, we got the length, then we'll calculate the total. For I'm using for each loop. After that okay, we got the total value now. Next, it's simple. So double, I'm doing typecasting here. After that I have to divide the total value with n. N is nothing but the length. So now if I run it, I got 81 by 1.0. Okay, let me give the same value here, so we will get the same value as the output. So let me check here. So it should return 12. So we got 12. So this is how we find the average value in an array. Now we will see how to reverse an array. Then first we have to know the exact structure of an array. For that I'll create an empty structure here, so that there are two ways we can do to reverse an array. Okay, for example 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. This is array 1. Okay, there are two ways. I'll explain the first way, and it's a simple way. For that you will create an empty array with the same size. After that you will iterate from the reverse of a given array, and store it in a first index, second index, third index, fourth index and fifth index. What you are doing, you are iterating through this array in the reverse order and storing those values in the array in the ascending order, so that you will get the array in the reversed order. So we will run it both. For that, what we have to do, I will create an array first. Int array2 equals new int the length of the first array, that means n. Okay. After that, I have to iterate for int I equals n minus 1, I greater than or equals 0 and I plus plus. Okay. After that, we need to increase this index one by one. For that, I will create a variable named as idx, that means index starts from 0. Then array2 of idx equals array1 of I. Okay, now what will happen? This I means this value, that means 16 in the first array. It will come here and store in this first value. After that, we have to increase the index one by one for every iteration. Now let us see how it works in the VS Code. So for that, I am creating an array. I am creating a file, reverse array dot java. I'll create main method, public static void main. After that, I'll create an array1 equals some values. For example, I'll give in ascending order, so we'll get to know is it reversing or not. Before that, we have to give the curly braces. Okay, now we have created an array. After that, I will create an empty array. So array2, which stores the value that is reversed. Then you have to make it as new int of the size of the array. So I will calculate the size. Int n equals array1 dot length. So we have created the array. We have created an empty array with the same size of array1. So now what we have to do? First, we need one variable to make note of the indexes. So it will start from 0 for this array2. After that, for int I equals, we have to iterate through the reverse. So I equal to n minus 1, I greater than or equals 0, I minus minus. So after that, what we have to do? Array2 of idx equals array1 of I. After that, we have to increment the idx. Now we will print the values that are stored in the array2. For int num in the array2, we have to print it. So num. Okay, now we got. Now we will see it is reversing or not. So we will print it. See here, it's in a reverse order 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. But what we are doing, we will be creating an entirely new array to store it. But it's a easy way. And one more thing is there, I have increment the value here, right? I can simply use here array2 of idx plus plus. If I do it here, it is nothing but the same thing. See, 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. So this is one method. After that we'll see another method and how it's reversing without using a new array. We are using same array to store that value. For that, what we are going to do, first we will see the basic structure again, so you won't confused. I am reversing it 5 4 3 2 and 1. In this array we can do one thing. See here, this is the way 2. The way 1 we have used the entirely new array. The way 2 we can do one more thing, that is, what if I'll swap these two? It will become 1 4 3 2 5. Then I will swap these two. Then 1 2 3 4 5. It's reversed. See, that's why I have written this in the descending order. So if we reverse, it will be in the ascending order. That's why I have written it in the descending order. What we are doing, we have an array 5 4 3 2 1. Now we will be swapping and swapping. You may ask this question, if it is in the odd index, you will get the middle index same. What if it have the even index? Nothing will happen. 6 5 4 3 2 and 1. If I swap it again, we will get 1 here and 6 here, and swap it 2 5 and swap it 3 4. We got the same value. So main logic is we are swapping the index I with n minus 1. I plus 1, n minus 1 plus I. Okay, see the logic here. Once again I am explaining. 5 4 3 2 1. We are swapping with I with, so now it swaps with I to n minus 1 plus I. Now you may ask why, because see here, it is 0 and it is 4. That means I can say 4 is nothing but 5 minus 1, right? It is 0 and it is 5 minus 1, the last index. Then why can't I say it is 5 minus 1 plus 0 here? I will be swapping this, because if it gets to 1, that means I have to get to 3. So if it becomes 1, 5 minus 2 will become 3. See? Let me explain once again. 5. See these numbers, 5 4 3 2 1. These are the array elements, and now I'll write the indexes here 0 1 2 3 4. These indexes, I can say it is 0. After that I am swapping 5 minus 1 plus 0. I will explain why. Because I am swapping 5 and 1 and it is 0, 5 minus 1 equals 4, and I am swapping 0 to 4. 0 to 4. Next I have to do 1 2 3. So it is nothing but 1, and 5 minus 1 plus 1, 5 minus 2 will become 3. Okay, I am swapping 1 with 3. Okay, after that it will come here. After that 2, then 5 minus 1 plus 2, this 2, and 2 2 2. There is no swapping here, so it will remain stable. Okay, what I am doing, this is the value of I. So I can simply say I am swapping I with n minus 1 plus I. So I can say that I am swapping the value with I with n minus 1 plus I. Okay, because this is n and n minus 1 is the last value. So if I increase the I value, I will reduce the n minus 1 value. So that's why I am using I to n minus 1. So if we swap it, then it will be reversed. So for that, in the previous videos we have seen about swapping the variables. So we are just gonna use it. So make sure, if you are any doubts, so make sure to watch those videos so we won't have any doubts. Okay, so now we will see. For that, we have to use a pointers method. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pointer is nothing but a variable that will point these two locations. For example, I am taking it as left and right. These pointers will look here. After that, it will move thiswards, this will move thiswards. Those are pointers. So we will see that in this how to do that. For that, I will initialize the left with 0 and right with n minus 1. Okay, so I can clearly say the condition that if this left pointer is less than right pointer, that means when it reaches this middle, it will stop, because after that it will increase. The left will always increase and the right will always decrease. That means when it reaches this midpoint, that means all of the values in the array are swapped. So that means it is completely reversed. Okay, for that I can simply say that nothing we are doing, we will just write a simple while loop, left less than right. Okay, that's it. We'll just swap. We'll swap using a temporary variable. Int temp equals data of left value and data of left equals data of right. I am mentioning the data is nothing but the array. Okay, after that, array of left equals array of right. After that, the data of right equals the temp. Okay, we are just swapping these two variables. Okay, now we will be seeing how to do that. Now we will be seeing that how to do in the VS Code or in the direct Java programming. So for that, in the reverse array as well, I will just comment this. Okay, first we will print it. Before that I will give a statement that array, that's it. After that I will make it as reversed array here. So before that I will print it integer data type number in the array, array 1 here, so I will make it to array 1. After that we will print the number plus some space. Okay, this is the printing statement and I am giving some space to the next value after I am printing, so it will look some neatly. After that we will do the reverse. For that, as I said before, I want two variables to point the indexes. So left equals 0. After that, right equals the last value, that is n minus 1. As I said before, if this reaches this midpoint, okay, I'll explain it here again. See here, this array, there is a midpoint here. If the left value reaches this, that means these two values will be already swapped. So we don't need to check anymore. So that's where we will stop. So while left is less than right, we can swap. Right? For that, just a temporary variable. I'll store any one of them. After that, the stored variable, I'll store it, the non-stored variable in the. Okay, after that, there will be one more variable that is empty currently because it has stored in another variable. So we can simply store it using the temporary storage. So we just need to change it to array 1. So that's we have changed. After we have swapped, we have to move the pointer. Why? Because if it moves here, then only it will move here, or else it will completely ruining the code, and it will be an infinite loop. So left plus plus right minus minus. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm just swapping this 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, then I have one pointer here, I'm swapping, then moving this and moving this. I'm increasing it and I am decreasing it. Then I'm swapping it again, then swapping it again, and the loop will be stopped and it reaches the center point. Okay, so we'll code it here. We have coded. After that, we just have to print it. So again, I'm copying this printing statement and pasting it so that I can just change this to reversed array. So now we check it again. Okay, we will run it. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the array, and the reversed array is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So in here, after everything is printing, I have to give a new line so that it will come down here. So now again we'll check. Okay, array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the reversed array is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and we will see one of the other important problem, and it's a easy beginner problem. Okay, we will count occurrences of a number. That means how many times it is appearing in an array. Okay, for that I am naming it as count because we are going to count it anyway. So after that, public static void main. In this, I'll declare array. So make sure to use this type using the array. For simple explanation, I didn't give about this. So with this, I'm giving 5. After that, we get input from the user. So for that, for int I equals 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Okay. After that, array of I equals. Before that, I have to import the scanner. So import java.util.scanner. So we have imported the scanner. So we have to create a scanner of class object. So for that, scanner s1 equals new scanner. system.in. After that, what we have to do, just we just have to use scanner s1.nextInt. After using this, we will be storing the input from the user. Then we have to get the target. So I am asking, enter the target element. So after he is entering, we just have to count it. Okay. For that, we will see that how it's working. Let's take an array and I'll take a variable count equals 0. So within that 3, 4, 5, 3, 3. I have to count 3. So 5, if my value is 3, I'll increase it to 1. And if it's again 3, then I'll increase it by 1. And if it again means 3, and I'll increase it by 1. So we will get 3 as the total count. So this is how we will count. This is simple basic unit using the linear search method. We will be counting every occurrences of the 3. So now we will move on to the top. So now we will move on to the code execution. So for that, I have to scan the target s1.nextInt. Now I got the target value, so I have to declare a variable named as count equals 0. After that, for int num in the array, if the current number is equals target, that means I can simply increase the count by 1. After that, just need to print it. That means the number target is occurring these many times. That means count times. Okay, now we need to give the inputs. So for that, I'll give 1, 3, 2, 1, 2 to 1. Okay, now I have to enter the target, so I am giving 1. The number 1 is occurring 2 times. I am again running it, so we will give another input with 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So again I will give target as 0. The number 0 is occurring 0 times. So we will check it with some other examples. So 1, 1, 1 or 2. So it will only read 5 characters because we are using for loop and the size is 5. So just read it. So 1 is occurring 4 times. Okay guys, next we will see if an array is sorted or not. That means it has to be in a arranged order. That means it is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is arranged. If it is 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, it is not arranged. These two values are imbalancingly missing. So that we will be checking if it is in the order of sorted or not. So now we will check. For that, first we will know the logic in this. See here, if we don't need to check that if a number is, every number is in the order. Instead of that, we can simply check if any order is mischanging like this. If it changes, so that's mean I can say that it is not in a sorted way. So that we only need to check if it is in a sorted, if it is sorted or not by looking at the condition. So for that, here I need to check this I is less than I plus 1, less than or equals I plus 1. If not, I can simply say it is not sorted, because there can be 1 and 2 and 2, because this value also in an equal value, so it is still sorted way. So that we have to check I is less than or equals I plus 1, and we just need to check up to n minus 2, because when you comes here, this value will check with n minus 1, this value. So 4 less than or 5, so it will check. So first we will see the pseudocode for that. For that, we will start from 0, I equals 0, I less than n minus 1 and I plus plus. In this, we just need to check if array of I is less than or equals array of I plus 1. So I can simply say that it is in a sorted way. Okay. Or else, if it is greater than this value, that means it's a false value. So that I can change this condition to check only it is greater than. Then I will have a boolean value. I will name it as sorted, and starting it will be initialized with true. So only if it changes to false, then only this code will be not executed. That means it will return true instead. So for that, sorted will become false, and I will break the condition because it is already not sorted, so we don't need to check any further. So I will break the for loop. After that, I will write if sorted, I will print sorted array, or else it is not sorted. So now we will see in the VS Code. Okay, for that I will create a file named check sorted.java. I have created a class. Next, I have to create main method. After that, I will create an array. So don't forget the syntax. In this, I will give some values. So 1, 2. Okay. And then I just simply need to change for, I'll check from first value to n minus 1. That means the value before the last value, because it will always check with the n plus 1. So that means it will move one step further. So for the n, I'll give the size, it's 6, so I'm giving 6. So then we need a boolean value to check is it sorted or not. For that I am making it as true as default. For that, if the condition breaks, so then only we can make it as false. So if array of I is greater than array of I plus 1, that means the previous value is greater than the next value. That means it's not in a sorted way. So then I can simply say sorted equals false, and I have already and this is already not sorted, so that means there is no need to check anyway, so I'm just breaking this loop. So then if sorted, that means if it is sorted, I have to print it is sorted, else sysout not sorted. So now we'll check, we'll run it. Now see, it says it is sorted, so I'll change the value to 1211. So it says it is not sorted, so this value is changing, so this is a not sorted way. Okay, so same as well we can check with descending order. For like, I'll change the conditions like 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So simple, I'll run it again. So see, it says it is sorted. So that means if you make this condition 2 less than, it will check for descending order. If it makes 2 greater than, then it will check for ascending order. So if I run it again, so see, it says it is not sorted. Okay, we can do one more thing as well. We just simply copy this and paste it, and we don't need this break because we are checking for both conditions, so it may be true or false. So for that we just simply need to change this condition to less than, and I make it sorted 1 for ascending order and sorted 2 for descending order. So this is 1 and this is 2. So if any one of them, so if sorted 1 or sorted 2, that means true or true. If any one of them is true, it will say it is sorted. So it says it is sorted right now. So let me check with the ascending orders. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 4 and 4. Then we will check. Okay, it says it's index out of 1 because we have given lesser value. So I'll check again with that. So it says it is not sorted because I have given 2 here. Now I will give 4. It must say it is sorted. So it says it is sorted. So that means our code is working perfectly. And yeah guys, that's the end of this video. And if you found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and comment below if you have any questions or topics you want me to cover next. And thanks for watching, and keep going and keep growing.